Tottenham and Inter Milan are due to hold further talks over Djed Spence. Newcastle are considering Bosnia-Herzegovina international Dedic. John McGinn has said Aston Villa stands still have the right to expect big things, and Aston Villa are in the final stages of a deal with Atletico Madrid for left-back Matteo Ruggeri. Here are your daily Premier League news headlines. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and to another edition of the Daily Premier League News Headlines, where I'll be going through all the latest news, rumours and reports. My name is Lee The Dorset Spur, and if you're watching on YouTube, please like, comment and subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Okay, so let's get into it. Tottenham and Inter Milan are due to hold further talks over Djed Spence today, according to Sky in Italy. Inter believe that a package of around £30 million or 35 million euros could be enough to get the deal done following positive discussions on Tuesday. Spurs are understood to be willing to sell if they receive an acceptable offer. Spence's opportunities could be limited at Spurs this season, with Pedro Porro, the first choice right back, and Destiny Doggy, Andy Robertson, Sousa and Ben Davies all able to play left back. Inter want to bring a new position that can play as a right wing back. Spence has been high on their list all summer, and Inter are now turning their attention to the Spurs man after struggling to strike a deal with Al Ittihad's Moussa Diaby. Newcastle are considering Bosnia-Herzegovina international Dedic as they look to bring in a fullback this window. Dedic currently plays for Benfica, having featured under new Newcastle boss Matthias Jesel at RB Salzburg, I should say. Dedic is one of a number of options Newcastle are considering for their fullback vacancy. The 23-year-old has been capped 31 times by Bosnia. Newcastle are also looking to add central midfielder and have interest in both Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and João Palhinha. John McGinn has said Aston Villa fans still have the right to expect big things from the team this season, despite huge departures this summer. Villa have sold Morgan Rogers, Yuri Tillemans and Lucas Digne, and the futures of Enzo Contra and Emiliano Martinez are far from certain. There's a lot of change, but when you look at other clubs in England, there's a lot of change. McGinn said before the Super Cup game with PSG on Wednesday. What we have still is our main core, same manager, same methods and same desire to achieve more. A lot of thought we reached our ceiling a few seasons ago and we proved them wrong. As long as we have that hunger to achieve more, Aston Villa fans can expect as much as possible. Crystal Palace have re-signed Ivan Gusand on loan from Aston Villa. The deal includes an option to buy the winger who spent the second half of last season at Selhurst Park playing 14 times and scoring twice. He said, "I'm so happy to be here. I already have good memories here, but I think it's only the beginning. I hope many more are coming." Chelsea have signed Rayo Vallecano left-back Pep Chavaria on a 5-year deal for a fee of around £16.3 million plus add-ons. The 28-year-old replaces Marc Cucurella, who signed for Real Madrid earlier this summer in a £55.8 million deal. Chavaria started the Conference League final with Rayo Vallecano last season, which they lost 1-0 to Crystal Palace. Aston Villa are in the final stages of a deal with Atletico Madrid for left-back Matteo Ruggeri. Negotiations are advanced over a package that could be worth around £21.4 million, 25 million euros. Atletico are also in the process of finalising the sale for Nathaniel Molina to Roma. Once both deals go ahead, there is every chance Atletico will approach Tottenham for Christian Romero. Atletico are believed to be ready to pay £34 million or 40 million euros to £38.5 million, 45 million euros for the centre-back. But whatever that would be enough for Spurs to remain to be seen. Romero is believed to prefer a move to Atletico over the Italian clubs interested, which include Inter Milan. So, just some thoughts on that after butchering most of those names. Apologies, my ability to read out some of these names is really terrible, isn't it? I'm sorry, but I guess the one that really grabs my attention still is the Djed Spence story. 30 million pounds for a player that has just played so well in the World Cup just does seem really, really crazy. And when you go through this story and it says Spence's opportunities could be limited because Pedro Porro is first choice at right back, and then it talks about Destiny Udogie, Andy Robertson, Sousa, and Ben Davis all able to play left back. But it doesn't say who else is going to play right back if it isn't Djed Spence. So for me, this leaves us woefully short in that area, and I just don't get it. I just don't get it. If this is about Djed Spence's attitude, about his problem, if it's because he wants to go and so on and so forth, then I'll get it. I'll understand it. If Roberto De Zerbi has said, if the players don't want to be here, I'm happy to let them go, then that's fine. But we've still got to have cover in that position. And whilst Pedro Porro has played an awful lot of football without an awful lot of injuries, that still leaves us woefully short there with only Archie Gray as a backup. And I just don't see that as a sensible option. But obviously, De Zerbi has far more knowledge about this than I do. He gets paid the big bucks to talk about it. And for me, I just think to myself, well, I'll trust the process if that's what they're expecting us to do. So, and of course, this rumbling on of Christian Romero. I just want that deal sorted out once and for all now, really. 40 to 45 million euros. Again, low fee, but this is coming out of the Premier League to another league in Europe, which just simply doesn't have the money that the Premier League has with the TV rights and all the rest of it, and the worldwide appeal, obviously. So yeah, I guess I for one just want this situation sorted, and I'm sure as we get closer and closer to that window closing, then these deals will go through for sure. Anyway, listen, thanks for watching and for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. I'm Lee The Dorset Spur. I butcher every name that comes in front of me. Apologies for that. If you'd like to pop over and say hi on my channel, I'd more than be happy to have you there. If not, no problem. I'll see you on the next one. And as always, up the Spurs.